Welcome, everyone. We are live, and it's Friday. Oh, yes, it is. Woo. It felt uh, amazingly quick to get here, but it is here nonetheless. I'm excited because we have the Wine Fest tomorrow, so I'll be there for 8+ hours, but you know how it is. Anyway, today, listen to what it says. Stop trying to change the world, since it is only the mirror. Leave the mirror and change your face. Leave the world alone and change your conception of yourself. Now, that's a Neville Goddard quote, but that quote is the principle of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is a mental creation. It is all mental. This is where it begins. It begins with your concept of yourself, how you say you are, who you say you are. And this is how we say we are something. I am that. I am. That's exactly how we say it. I am that. Whatever that is, you fill in the blank for that. But when we say I am, that is your conception of yourself. And the concept of yourself is the dictator of your experiences in life. There's no way around that. There's no ritual to get rid of it. It is called universal law. You see, that is the beauty of it. And because en masse, humanity does not know that these principles exist. You see, we do know, but we don't. How do we know that they exist? We know that they exist because when we go out to the garden and we plant something, we reap what we've planted. Period. Even if your harvest didn't come in, what's the first thing you say? Man, I planted these potatoes and I didn't get any potatoes. That's what we say. That's the first thing we notice. So we do know the principles, but we don't know them by way of experience deliberately. We know them unwittingly, meaning we experience things and we say, well, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me is the question we ask. That is because we live unwittingly. If we live deliberately, we would understand that everything that happens to us is on us. And remember, that is not a judgment at all. It's not a, Angela, how could you say such a thing? Are you trying to tell me that I would do this to myself? I'm not trying to tell you that you would do it to yourself. I am saying to you that it was done by you, through you, because you don't know. So the key here is to learn so that you can apply. And I love his mirror analogy because it is so true. If you put on an outfit and you turn this way and that way in the mirror, and you're like, ugh, I don't like this color today. I don't like how I feel in this color today. What do? You kick that mirror and break it? No. You go take off what you're presently wearing and you put something else on. So that when you look into the mirror again, you are different. So when he tells you to stop trying to change the world, change your conception of yourself, well, that's the secret, isn't it? If you want what you are going through to change for your betterment, you see, we have got to abandon the idea that suffering is a good thing. Oh, we have got to abandon that and abandon it quickly. Why? The principle of correspondence. As within, so without. if you believe that suffering is the only way to prove your value, for you to have merit, well, you are holding suffering within your bosom. So what must you experience in the outside? Suffering. You see, this is that false ideology that teaches us that if you suffer and you come through your suffering, you're now this hero. No, you are not meant to suffer, my friends. You have to change that concept of yourself. Think about what that does. When we see people and they don't suffer in life, because we do say that to ourselves. Well, how come this person isn't suffering? How come they have this golden spoon or this silver spoon? How come their lives are so beautiful and mine is not? We begin to resent. And resentment is funny, isn't it? Listen, it go back always to the principle of correspondence. As within, so without. If you harbor resentment, you see, it looks as if you are harboring resentment towards someone. That's what it looks like. It looks like, oh, you did this to me. Hate you. That's what it looks like it's the other person. But if you can remember that the resentment is yours alone, you are holding it in your teacup, and you are the one sipping it. It only harms you. You have to experience that resentment in your own life. But you see, this is what we do. We think that because I throw something hot at you, it did not first affect me. I have to burn from that thing before I let it go and throw it at someone. So that concept of the other person, we should also abandon that. Because that concept of the other person blinds the eye to what you are doing and what you are experiencing. This is why we can't see it. Because we are busy, fully engaged in what the other person did or what the other person did not do. It's not about the other person. It is about your concept of yourself. Mm? We have this saying, who sent for you? I sent it, as we say in Barbados, I send and call you. Did I send for you? Yes. Well, how did I send for you? By my concept of myself. By my concept of myself, I call you into my life. That sometimes can feel like a too big of a pill to swallow. But nothing happens by chance, does it? No. It happens because of our conception of ourselves. Who do you say you are? Who do you say that you are? I wish he was still here. I don't see him. I can't see him anymore in fan base, so I don't know if he still is. But Jamie was just in the room, and he's a Toastmaster speaker. Oh, champion nonetheless. His concept of himself when he gets up on that stage is not of, oh my God, I'm so scared. What if they laugh at me? That is not his concept of himself at all. His concept of himself is, I speak and I command this space. Even if he gets butterflies, we all get butterflies because in the beginning we're a little bit nervous. That is normal. That's natural. But what he does not allow is for that to cripple him. His concept of himself is greater than that is why he can command the space. Your concept of yourself. What does that mean? What is your idea that you hold of yourself? You know, when I talk to people and I say, well, tell me about yourself. What do you know about yourself? Oh, well, I'm this or I'm that. And I know people don't really like me all the time. I don't make friends easy. Oh, listen to your concept of yourself. What do you mean you don't make friends easily? Listen to the concept of yourself. You see, it is one thing to speak. It is another to hear what you're saying when you speak. If you pay attention to what you are saying, then you are saying it. To whom are you saying it? How does it make you feel when you say it? All of those are indicators of the concept you hold of yourself. And the concept you hold of yourself, well, we always have to see what that concept is by way of our experiences in the world. The world is not your enemy. The world, however, is your mirror because it has to show you what you hold to be true of yourself or anything. You must always see the evidence. You can't not see the evidence. Remember, there are no voids. There is no emptiness in the universe. Every cause has its effect. Every effect, its cause, as within, so without. As above, so below. And that's why sometimes we think we live in a world of duality. It is not duality. It is just that there are no voids. There's nothing empty. Right? So above and below are not opposite. What's happening above is happening below. To know what is happening, to understand or comprehend what is happening above, you look at below. And to comprehend what is happening above, if I said it right, if it's above and you read it properly, you'll see what's happening below. If it's below, you read that properly, you'll see what's happening above. But there's only one thing happening, not two, just one. And the thing that we think is the duality is simply the reflection. Comprehend that. What we think is duality is simply the reflection. That's why I marvel at my chickens when they look at themselves in the mirror. They just watch themselves in the very beginning. It's very intriguing to watch. They look at themselves, they move, and they come back. Given enough time with the mirror, they came to the understanding that there's nothing in the mirror until they put themselves in it. So what they're looking at is themselves, not another. It is very amazing to watch. I did not know that they had the capacity for that kind of understanding, but they do. And then I was reminded, but Angela, everything is aware of itself. Everything is aware of itself. Whether it's the grass, whether it's the ladybug, whether it's the mosquito, ooh, everything is aware of itself. So that means you are aware of your own existence, which is the principle of mentalism. So when you look out into the world and you say, oh my God, what is the world coming to? The world is coming to what we put into it. We don't always like to hear that, do we? If there's violence, if there's desperation, that is all coming from within. And it's being projected outwards into the world. So if we don't want that into the world, what do? We have to change our concept of ourselves so we stop putting it out in the world. Can you imagine if 8 billion people change their concept of themselves? One would think that that's very kumbaya, but it is not. We keep looking for the world to change. Oh dear, keep on waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. That's why we keep on waiting for the world to change when it is us who needs to change. So stop trying to change the world and change your concept of yourself. It also goes by way of relationship. I can't find a good man. There's no good women in the world. They're just all gold diggers. That is your concept. So if you think there are only gold diggers and you believe that there's only gold diggers, who are you going to encounter, my dear sweet? Gold diggers. Because you cannot be made a liar of. Your concept of yourself is always going to show you who you are, who you believe yourself to be. This is the thing. We look out into the world and we say, but why don't I have a good relationship? Look at your concept of yourself. I heard somebody say the other day that it's good for somebody to point out your faults to you. Your perception of a fault is what would make you see it in me. That is a judgment. Your responsibility, my responsibility as an individual, as a sovereign being, is to check myself. But Angela, how do you know if you're right or you're wrong? How do you know if you're right or wrong? You have to do something first. Look at yourself. Just look. This is the thing. We look towards those two words, right and wrong. How do I know I'm right? What is your concept of right? Some would say, well, the vigilante. The vigilante is right if. Well, the vigilante is wrong if. They're both the same energy, you know. The one who goes out and fights crime. But the vigilante is also the one who goes out and commits crime. They're both doing the same thing. They're both out there doing what their concept is. So what is your concept of yourself? If your concept is it's a dog-eat-dog world, which dog does that make you? The one who eats or is the one who's eaten? It is always the concept you hold of yourself that will dictate your experiences in the world. How does one discover their concept of themselves? Listen to what you say and observe your actions. It's as simple as that. You do not have to judge it. Please don't judge it. You know exactly what I mean when I say judge. Oh my God, why can't I be better than them? I can't stand that. Whoa, 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 those are judgments. Understand the assignment. Observe the self. Observe your behavior. Listen to what you say. And it's funny because we say it so much that we become desensitized to what we are saying. So much so that we cloud our own vision of our concept of ourselves. To observe yourself is to recognize that your body is doing the action that you tell it to do. If your body is doing the action, then you're not the body, but you're in it. You're in it, and you use it to maneuver your way around. Just like your car, you use it, right? You use it. If your concept of yourself is, oh, they're going to judge me, they're going to make fun of me. My boss is hilarious because they all drive trucks because of what they do. My car, they always make fun of my car because it's so small. They always say, Angela, it could fit in the bed of my truck. Your car's so little. To which I always respond, but I am little. It's just the right size for me. You're 6 foot, God knows what. You can't pretzel yourself to get into mine. So it wouldn't be suitable for you, but it is suitable for me. Because that's my concept of myself. Not that I'm small and insignificant. No, that, hey, this is perfect for me. It sips gasoline. It gets me where I'm going, and it's cute too. It really is. Sometimes I stand there and just look at it. I'm like, oh, it's so cute. It's pocket size. I'm like, well, that would be me. I don't see it as an embarrassment. The concept of myself, I do not see myself as an embarrassment. Think about that. How do you perceive yourself? What is the idea you hold of yourself? You have to examine that. And when you see it, you see, the experiences that we have as youngsters, they do shape us, you know. They do add to what we hold to be true of ourselves. But that's why I remember this scripture that Paul said. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child. I did childish things. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. What's that mean? It means as you grow through life, you look at the things that you do. And when you see them, you say, wait, I do this thing because I used to do this when I was younger. You know, I used to use it as a coping mechanism. But I don't have to cope anymore. I don't have to deal with those things anymore. So I'm going to put this thing away. How do you put it away? By first recognizing it and recognizing its origin. It is not a bad thing that happened to you. It was just something that happened. Why is it not bad or good or indifferent? Because the concept you hold, if you say this thing was vile and bad and happened to me, now depending on how it makes you feel, it could bring with it shame or guilt. And now you're going to be living your life from that place because that is now the concept you hold of yourself. You should be ashamed. And so you live from that place. So it's not that what happened to you didn't happen. It's that it did happen, but now you've got to examine it to make sure that you're no longer living from that place of, oh my God, that happened to me. Everybody's going to do this to me now. No, 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 no. If you continually live with that, now we keep repeating the same thing over and over and over in our lives. But we are clever, aren't we? We call them generational curses. No, they're simply learned behavior that has become habits. If you can see the concept of habit versus curse, you would understand. We were taught to fear curses. But who has the power? What's that song? I put a spell on you. If you believe that, well, then you have to experience it. You do. This is what it comes down to, what you hold to be true. So if you see this quote unquote thing as generational, it just means that those before you were doing it and you learned how to do it, you're continuing to do it and you're teaching it to your offspring. That's what makes it generational. But remember what a habit is. Something you do the same thing the same way every time. So it is a generational habit. So if you can recognize that it is a habit, well, now you know how to make new ones. You now know that you can put away the things of the past that no longer serve you. Well, what do you mean they no longer serve you? It means you don't want to have that experience continually. You don't want to have that experience anymore. You want to live differently. So in order to live differently, you have to change your concept of yourself. I can't speak in front of crowds. I'm too scared. So what do you think is going to happen? Fear will petrify you, keep you frozen where you are, so that you continually live a life of fear. But you've got something to say. So get a thesaurus and refine how you say it. And the more that you practice saying it and speaking, the more confident you become hearing your own voice. So that you do what? You don't banish fear by looking at it. You banish fear by assuming the role of courageous. That's what I tell my son. You do not look at all of the ingredients and be overwhelmed if you have to make something. You look at all of the ingredients and see all of the possibilities of what you can do. So if you know the base of how muffins should be, they're a batter. Don't overmix. They are a batter. Batter behaves in a particular way. Dough behaves in a particular way. So if you know how something behaves, if you know the nature of a thing, well, you can conquer it. Then there is no need for fear. Fear comes when one does not comprehend. Notice the difference between being afraid and fear. Fear is there because we do not comprehend something and we think it is unknown. Being afraid is that a big bad wolf? Is that something lurking around the corner? You're just afraid in that moment. But to banish fear, you look at the possibilities of what you can create from your own life. And fear will leave you. It will it will look like it's running away from you, but in actuality, you have moved away from it. So remember today, my beautiful friends, stop trying to change the world, since it is only the mirror. Leave the mirror and change your face. Leave the world alone and change your conception of yourself. And if you want to implement that practice today, here is how you do it. Get in front of the mirror. If you don't like your eyeshadow, if you don't like the way your beard is, what do? You change the eyeshadow, you change the beard somehow, you trim it, you brush it, you comb it, you do what you're doing. You don't like that shirt, you take it off and you put something else on. Well, why? Why? Because when you're looking in the mirror, you're looking at yourself. So if you do not like what you see, you change what you are wearing. Logically, that makes sense, because if you're in the mirror and you don't like something, you do not break the mirror, because you're still the same. Now you just have a broken mirror. So you change your concept. What is your concept? Your idea of yourself. Who do you say that you are? Acknowledge that. Oh, 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 you sing it handsome. Come on. You change your concept of yourself. How do you change it? By beginning to experience in imagination what you would be doing if you were the man or the woman you wanted to be. You just start seeing yourself being that new person. You know what they tell you? They tell you that there's more than one version of you. In this universe, there's this version. In that universe, there's that version. You see, when you say it like that, sometimes it's hard to grasp. But if you say it with the fact that the possibilities, you can become anything you want to become, this is a possibility. So if it is a possibility, it has actions that confirm it. That is why you experience in imagination what you would be doing. Not what I would be doing, but what you would be doing. What you would be doing. Because then that now modifies your concept of yourself, because you're looking at you. You're not looking out into the world and saying, well, I'm in a different universe. No. Different concept of yourself. Change the concept. What is the concept? What you think you are. What you think you are is the concept. The idea you hold of yourself. It is your mental attitude, your mindset, your state of mind. What you are aware of being. I am that. So what is that you proclaim yourself to be? The reason why you know is because it has corresponding actions. So begin to see the new action and rehearse the new action. Because the new action, if you comprehend, the more you practice that new action, you are doing something to your brain. Literally speaking, you are rewiring it. So that every time you want to do that thing, you're going to follow that pathway now that you just laid down. Just like you keep doing that thing, you're following a pathway you already have laid down in your brain. So you see, what you are doing to change your life is not mystical. It is not far-fetched. It is not beyond your reach. It just requires your persistence in its practice. What you practice, you become, dearest. You know this better than anyone in the world. So what are you practicing? Be deliberate in what you practice, because that is what you are molding and shaping yourself into. That is your concept of yourself now that you're putting into the world, and you must always see the evidence of it. So remain faithful and practice the behavior of the new you. And you know, because you don't have to hope, you don't have to wish, you don't have to fake it till you make it. You don't have to do that. You got to be deliberate to say, if I were ... I would be behaving like this. And if I'm behaving like that, it will be accompanied by feelings of confidence and surety and security within myself. So I will continue to practice because now I become secure. But you do not become secure in external things because you know that it was your inner that made the external change. So now you don't put your quote unquote hope in things that the moth and the flame can destroy. You put your quote unquote faith in your ability to examine yourself, define yourself, and to become. That is what you have just done. So, with that, let's welcome everyone because I am way over time here. Let's welcome everybody this morning. Ooh, I can see you on YouTube and Facebook. I just don't know who you are because you didn't say hello to me in the chat. But I want to presume that it is my sweet Liza. Hello, Liza, darling. It's good to see you. Maybe it is Ray of Sunshine. I don't know. The better man, maybe. Mm? Either way, I see you nonetheless. Twitter is for the replay gang. Twitter sent me a notification yesterday. I was on Twitter for 5 years. What? What? We've been live streaming on Twitter for 5 years? Sounds about right, because that's how long I've been on Fanbase as well. Who was on Fanbase with us? Summer Rose. Yes, Summer Rose is in the house. Big Mike is in the house. Ray Ray is in the house. And you know, as always, it is beautiful to see each and every one of you. And I trust that you will do yourselves the favor of examining your concept of yourself. There's nothing for you to be ashamed of, nothing for you to feel bad about. Just recognize and begin to mold and shape yourself with those new behaviors and become. Yes, become. Yes. Anyhow, I will see you all again right here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Fanbase. Monday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Well, you know I see you then. I do look forward to seeing you. And if you have not yet ordered your Hermetic Oracle cards, the link is there. Go ahead. Or if you say, Angela, I love your YouTube channel. Can I join as a member in your tier 1? Yes, you can. It's $1.99 a month if you want to. You can definitely do that. Yeah. Anyhow, we've been here for 5 years on Twitter. What? Oh, I tell you, consistency. Oh yeah, consistency. At this point, it's a habit. Doing the same thing the same way every time. Yes? Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love.